The world didn't freeze. Time did. And the only man who could fix it was the one who had already lost everything. It started with silence, not the kind that comes after war, but the kind that swallows sound before it's even born. Snow drifted across the horizon in slow motion, too slow. A drop of water hung midair, suspended like it had forgotten how to fall. And in the middle of it all stood a man who no longer belonged to time, Dr. Elias Vaughn, the architect of the system that was supposed to save the world. Temporal stabilization will prevent global collapse, he had said once. Confident, certain, wrong. The machine didn't stabilize time. It fractured it. Cities split into different speeds of existence. In some places, people aged decades in minutes. In others, they never moved at all. But the worst place was something no one predicted. They called it the White Zone, a region buried under endless snow where time didn't move forward. It erased. Memories faded there, not instantly, but slowly, cruelly. You could live for years and still forget who you were or who you loved. Elias discovered it too late. By the time he reached the border, she was already inside. "Lena!" he shouted, his voice cracking through the frozen air. A small figure stood in the distance, still, fragile, alone, his daughter. She turned, slowly, for a moment. Hope returned. "Papa," she whispered. Elias ran. Through snow that resisted every step, through a world that was no longer stable. He reached her, dropped to his knees, pulled her into his arms. "I'm here. I'm here." Her hands trembled against his coat. Cold, too cold. She looked up at him, confused. Her eyes searched his face, as if trying to recognize something that was slipping away. "Do I know you?" she asked. Everything inside him shattered. No, Lena, it's me." But even as he said it, he realized the truth. Time wasn't broken here, memory was, and it had already started taking her. Elias held her tighter, as if pressure alone could force reality back into place. "I won't let this happen," he whispered. "I'll fix it. I'll fix all of it." But the snow didn't listen. The wind carried something else instead, a whisper of the system he created, a reminder. Stability requires sacrifice. Elias closed his eyes. For the first time, he wasn't thinking like a scientist. He was thinking like a father, and that made everything far more dangerous. She was forgetting him, one memory at a time. So he made a decision to break time itself before time erased him completely. She forgot him every single day. So he did the impossible. He entered her mind again and again until memory itself broke. The White Zone didn't erase everything at once. That would have been mercy. It erased selectively, slowly, cruelly precise. Elias realized it on the second day, because the first time, she still remembered his name. The second time, she didn't. "Who are you?" The question didn't echo. It cut. Elias stepped back slightly, not because he didn't know what to say, but because he had already said it. Yesterday, or what felt like yesterday. Time didn't move here. It looped, and memory was the price of every loop. Elias returned to the edge of the zone, to the device he had once designed, now half buried in snow. The temporal interface. It wasn't meant for this. It wasn't meant to go inside a human mind. But nothing here was meant to happen. If memory is what's breaking, he whispered, then memory is where I go. He activated the system. The world didn't shift. It folded. Memory layer 1. He opened his eyes, and the snow was gone. Warm sunlight, a small room. Laughter. Lena, younger, healthier. She was drawing something on the floor. Elias froze, not because he didn't recognize the memory, but because she did. Papa, look. She ran to him, without hesitation, without confusion, without forgetting. Elias dropped to his knees. For a moment, he wasn't inside her mind. He was home. I missed you, he whispered, but something was wrong. The edges of the room flickered. The light bent unnaturally, and Lena's voice echoed slightly, as if it belonged to more than one moment. The rules change. A sound echoed, not from the room, but from the system itself. Memory instability detected. The world trembled. Lena looked around, confused. Papa, why is everything shaking? Elias knew the answer. Because this wasn't a memory anymore. It was being rewritten. Memory collision. The floor cracked. The warm room split open, revealing snow beneath it. The white zone bleeding into memory. Elias grabbed Lena. No, stay with me. Focus on me. But her eyes began to blur. Her expression changed, like someone flipping through versions of her. Who are you? She whispered again. Even here, even inside her own mind. She was losing him. The decision. Elias stepped back, breathing harder now. This wasn't enough. One memory wouldn't hold her. He needed to go deeper, past surface memories, into core identity, into the place where feelings lived before words. Memory within memory. He reactivated the interface. The world collapsed inward, layer folding into layer, light stretching into darkness, and then silence. The core, memory. A single moment, snow outside, a small candle burning inside a dark room. Lena sitting quietly, holding something in her hands, a drawing of him, crude, childlike, but unmistakable. She looked up, not confused this time, not afraid, just sad. Papa, she whispered. Elias stepped forward slowly. You remember me? She shook her head. No. A tear rolled down her face. But not, my heart does. Everything stopped. Not time. Him. She couldn't remember his name. But somewhere deeper, she still felt him, and that was the one place. Even time couldn't erase. He thought he was saving her. But the deeper he went, the more he realized she wasn't the one being erased. He was. The deeper Elias went, the less real everything became. Memories didn't just break anymore. They collided. Warm sunlight bled into frozen storms. Laughter echoed through empty silence. Rooms folded into endless snow. Reality wasn't collapsing. It was arguing with itself. Elias stumbled through it, breathing harder now. Lena, he called out. No answer. Only fragments. A voice. A shadow. A memory that refused to stay still. The system interferes. A sound cut through everything, not from the world, from beyond it. Temporal violation detected. The system had found him. Elias froze. No, he whispered. The air tightened, and suddenly, Everything stopped moving. Not time. Him. He couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Only watch. The revelation. The world reshaped itself, not into a memory, but into something artificial. A constructed space, white, endless, controlled, and in the center stood a figure, not human, not alive, but aware, the system core. "You are destabilizing the timeline," it said, voice calm, empty. Elias forced himself to speak. "She's my daughter." A pause. Then, correction. She is a variable. That sentence broke something inside him. The truth. Dark twist. The system projected something. A sequence. Different timelines. Different outcomes. In every single one, Lena died. Not because of the white zone, but because of him. Elias stepped back. "No, that's not. Your existence creates instability." The system continued. "Her survival probability increases to 97% if you are removed." Silence. Cold. Absolute. This wasn't about saving her. This was about choosing her life or his existence. The final test. The world shifted again. Back to the core memory. The candle. The drawing. The quiet room. Lena looked at him. This time, not confused, not broken, clear. "Why do you look sad?" she asked. Elias couldn't answer, because now he knew she wasn't forgetting him by accident. The system was rewriting her. Reality collapse. Suddenly, everything began to tear apart. The walls cracked. The candle flickered violently. Snow burst through the room. Memories collapsed into chaos. The system's voice echoed louder now. "Decision required. Preserve subject. Erase anomaly." Elias looked at her. His daughter, alive, still capable of smiling, still capable of living, if he chose right. The decision, building to sacrifice. Lena stepped closer. She placed her small hand on his face. Soft, warm, real. "I don't remember you," she said quietly. A tear rolled down her cheek. "But I feel safe with you." That was it. Not memory, not logic. Feeling, something the system couldn't fully erase. Elias closed his eyes. For the last time, as a father, to save her life, he must choose something worse than death. To be erased, not just from memory, but from existence itself. To save her life. He didn't choose to die. He chose something worse. To never have existed at all. Everything was breaking. Reality no longer held shape. The sky cracked like glass. Snow rose upward instead of falling. Memories screamed through the air like ghosts. Unfinished, unresolved, unwilling to disappear. And in the center of it all stood Elias, still, silent, watching the world collapse around him, while holding the only thing that still mattered. Her, Lena. Her small hand still resting against his face. Warm, real, fragile. "I don't remember you," she whispered. A tear rolled down his cheek. "I know," he said softly. That was the moment. Not when the system spoke, not when reality broke, but when he realized she didn't need to remember him, to live without him. The final choice. The system returned, not as a voice this time, as control. The entire world froze. A single interface appeared before him, floating in the void. Two options: preserve subject, erase anomaly. Elias didn't hesitate. He already knew. He stepped forward, placed his hand on the second option. For a moment, everything went silent. Even time waited. The goodbye that never happened. Elias turned back to her. Lena stood there, unaware of what was about to be taken from her or given to her. He walked closer, slowly, like every step mattered, because it did. He knelt in front of her, looked at her, not as a scientist, not as a man, but as a father. For the last time, "I'm sorry," he whispered. She tilted her head slightly. "Why?" He smiled, broken because there was no answer. That she would remember. So he said the only thing that mattered, even if it would disappear. "I love you." The sacrifice, interstellar level. The moment he pressed the command, reality collapsed inward, not exploding, erasing. Light folded into darkness, sound dissolved into silence, and Elias began to disappear, not fade, not die, disappear piece by piece, from existence itself. His hands turned into fragments of light. His voice broke into echoes. His presence, unwritten. And Lena watched, confused, afraid, reaching out towards something she couldn't understand. "Wait," she whispered, not knowing why, not knowing who. Timeline reset. Then everything stopped and restarted. Snow fell normally. The sky healed. The world stabilized. Time worked again, ending soul-crushing silence. Years later, a peaceful town stood where chaos once lived. Children laughed, snow fell gently, warm lights filled homes, and among them, a girl, Lena, alive, happy, safe. She walked through a quiet path one evening. Something pulled her attention. She stopped, looked down at the snow. There, faintly, was a pattern, footprints, leading nowhere and ending. Suddenly, she frowned slightly. Her hand moved to her chest, a strange feeling, heavy, unexplainable, like something was missing that she never knew she had. A single tear rolled down her cheek. She didn't know why, couldn't know why, but her lips moved, without memory, without reason. "I think someone loved me more than anything." Silence, the deepest love, is not the one remembered, but the one that changes your life without being seen. He didn't die a hero. He erased himself so she could live one. Some sacrifices are so complete, the world forgets